Hi, I'm Ruth Shapira. Welcome to this podcast by Inner Judaism, a spiritual look at our lives. In this episode, I'd like to provide you with a new way of thinking about something we use and do every single day. Every one of us, every single day. If I've captured your interest, please stay with me. Find a comfortable place for yourself to sit where you won't be interrupted. Have a cup of coffee or tea, and turn this off until you're ready to begin. Okay, ready? First, we'll get into the present moment. So get comfortable, feel that your back is supported, and place your arms in a comfortable position. Either close your eyes or gaze down. And let's draw ourselves into the present moment, letting all thoughts just slowly fade and go through you. And as you release all thoughts from your mind, you begin to notice the evenness of your breath and your chest rising and falling. Inhale slowly and exhale slowly, making your breaths in and out even. And as you inhale, slowly feel the oxygen flowing into your body, and then gently release as you exhale. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, then exhale. So now let's think about our lives a little bit. As tech-minded and modern as we think we are, we're actually not as advanced as we think we are because we've lost the ability to communicate properly. How can this be, we're thinking, right? Hasn't our communication channel exploded in the last decades? Just the verbs we use alone are indication of how our methods of communication have expanded beyond belief. We post, we tweet, we Insta, we pin, we text, we chat, we Zoom. Not to mention, we like, heart, and follow. So let's take a few moments just to really think about this for a minute. We have more outlets for what's on our minds than ever before in human history. So why do we comprehend each other less? There are many, many reasons for this. There's one tiny thing that I'd like you to think about, that our words have become throwaways and not even as useful to us sometimes as icons or emojis, which serve our need for speed in responding to something. Our texts and speech literally disappear seconds after they're written, as if to confirm the losing battle of communicating with words that actually matter. There are social media platforms like Snapchat, which are successful with users precisely because texts, pictures, and video disappear after just a few seconds. And even when you do take the time to express yourself and write something meaningful, you know that when you do post it, your message is lost the second someone signs on to read the latest post. That's the world that we're living in. But Judaism, on the other hand, sees things so differently. And in the Hebrew Bible, in the Torah, the word used to describe the way in which the 10 Commandments, Aseret HaDibrot, literally 10 utterances, were formed, is engraved, charut. They were engraved, incised upon the tablets. This is a beautiful teaching. According to Torah, words are not just words, but permanent statements of an everlasting bond. In the Hebrew Bible, words are more than just letters They inherently have substance. And you know what? The very word in Hebrew for word is davar, which also means thing, an actual thing with heft, weight, and presence. So what can we learn from this? We can learn that our words matter. What we say becomes a reality. It's a thing. The Torah has more laws about speech than any other. Just think about that for a minute. In the Talmud, our sages say that you can destroy a person with your tongue. Thousands of years ago, our sages recognized the power of speech, and the wrong use of speech could be a deep sin and betrayal. There are numerous places where we have laws about speech. One is in Proverbs. It's a saying. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue. The power of our speech. What we use our mouth for. Our mouth has two functions: to eat and speak. And what is the connection? Just as eating bad food accumulates in our bodies, speaking without regard for consequences builds layers of damage to our soul. The physical toll that comes from bad habits is not evident in our bodies at first. We have to really eat in a certain way for years and years for it to take its toll often. The same is true for our inner self, which sustains losses whenever our tongues let loose improperly. Our very body, our very essence, inner and outer, tells us that we need to be able to control what comes out of our mouths as much as we control what comes into them. So how can we honor the very words we speak? What can we do on a regular basis so that our words make a difference? Our words that are things have a positive presence. Very simple thing we can do is we can hit the pause button to allow ourselves time to think before we speak. This is much harder than it seems. There are stories about our great sages, masters of character development, that bring me to tears over the way they agonized over their speech and the impact it would have before they uttered even a word. I don't know if that's attainable by any of us, but we can train ourselves in time to change our habits. We can ask ourselves just certain questions before we decide to speak. Question like, is what I'm about to say additive? Has somebody else already said it, although maybe in a different way? Is what I'm about to say elevating the conversation? Will it add some truth? Will it be uplifting to those listening? Or will it be judgmental? Will it bring things in a negative direction? Will I be criticizing someone? Or will I be in judgment of someone? If we just took a few minutes to think before we speak, imagine the positive consequences of this. May your words be like jewels, enriching those who are receiving them. Thank you for listening. I hope that you will be able to bring more awareness to your speech and to recognize it as having the potential to bring more holiness into the world. Please subscribe and follow this podcast because I'd like to bring this awareness to more people, and it would be great if you could help me. Wishing you a glorious day and the ability to make this day better than yesterday.